Okay, now we'll see. It's been 20 minutes since the last episode. Hello. I think, in the wrong space. I think I'm making the old live unlisted was bad. But now we'll see if anyone comes to this one. People! Okay, yes, I was in the wrong space. That's so funny. For the record, I did start the live on time. I just set it as unlisted, and then none of you could see it. But you know what? This worked. We got here. Oh, I was just like, damn, no viewers in 5 minutes? Like, not a one? No one even happening to pass by? That's crazy. But I figured it out. Hello everyone. How's everyone doing this fine Friday? I tried to put this live a little after the show because I know some people don't catch the premiere right when it starts. Is that how do we like this? How do we like an 11:45 start time? Well, 11:50 today, but in general. Nikhil, do you have my walls? Because I was just talking about Gambit. That's why I'm here. I heard someone was disrespecting my best friend. Yes, I was thinking the live was late. Yeah. I was mid-video and got here. See, that's the thing. I don't know when, because I don't want to take everyone's time. That's what I've also learned is the Patreon. I've been putting them up the same time as the YouTube drops, but apparently people want to watch both. So now I'm like, fuck, how should I do YouTube drop, then Patreon drop, and then the live? Oh, after show, we do these now. We do. I like chatting with you guys. I like you guys a lot. And speaking of, I still got to show you. I didn't just talk about how much I wanted the Sorcerer Supreme. Oh, well then I'm sorry. I meant to poke into someone else's life. But hey, at least there's another Gambit fan here. It's a pretty good time, methinks. Nice. I personally prefer a quicker start time. We have controversial. Now we're in a hot seat debate. 15 minutes did feel kind of long to me. How do you think he would have done? How do you think they would have done other heroes in Evolution? I don't know. Who doesn't appear in Evolution? I think a lot of characters that come in later in the series could have done really good in this setting because the comics do take on a high school element as it goes on, like Anole and Prodigy and Dust and like all the kids who were kids later on. I think would fit very well in this setting. Prodigy would be a very interesting addition. I think this show is very good at coming up with creative uses for powers, and his power would be very interesting. Only disrespect I have seen of Gambit was about the Pokemon cards. He has Pokemon cards? I get it at the time of the premiere, so the later start time is great. Okay. What about Magic? If there was a season 4 of X-Men Evolution, Magic, I think I'm going to have to see. Again, you guys know how much I've seen now. Actually, if you've seen the Patreon, which is the next 2 episodes, you've now seen all of X-Men Evolution that I have. I've not seen beyond episode 4 of this show. But Magic would, I think, depend on where they end up going with Colossus. I don't know anything about Viliana's in the show. I don't think she is. But yeah, I think she'd be hard to introduce because I don't want it to be kind of like what X-Men 97 did, where it was just completely unrelated to Colossus. But, is this the last season? No, there's a shorter season 4. This is the last full season. Imagine what effect Gambit charging a Pokemon card would be. Oh. I mean, it would just blow up. Is the idea that it would create a Pokemon? Oh, or is it like, it's the meme. I've seen this where he like uses someone's collector Pokemon cards and then they explode. Right. Hope it isn't a spoiler, but apparently something about him stealing a kid's Pokemon cards. Yes, I've seen this. Gambit should use like MTG lands or Pokemon energies. They are worthless. It'd be cheaper. I mean, surely not cheaper than just a standard deck of 52 cards. I guess that is like more expensive these days, though. My impression of Gambit has always been that he uses the cards because in Gambit's first appearance, he uses knives. He's like special throwing knives. And I actually, when making the next video that's on Patreon now, I noticed that in one of his first appearances, they call the thing he's throwing, which is a rectangular shape, a bomb casing instead of you know, cards. So I wonder if the cards are like fully on accident. And someone just saw that art and was like, "Hey, it's those cards. That's cool." I don't know. But my impression was he carries the cards because it's a way to have 52 bombs in like this much space in your pocket. Does the quality of the cards affect the bomb power? It depends which definition of Gambit's powers you're going on, I think. Because my definition, the one that I like that has been given, is that he has his own biokinetic energy, which is a purely made up concept, that he can insert onto objects to charge them. In that case, no, because he's in control of how much he wants to charge. The other canon explanation, and they're both canon because no one's ever denied either one, the other canon explanation is that he transfers potential energy into kinetic. And so I think yes, but also that one never made any scientific sense at all. Because that's what happens, like potential kinetic, like I can do that too. It did not explode. I love myself releasing the chemical potential energy, but it breaks more logic. Yes. Cards are also innocent. No one looks twice at someone carrying cards. Exactly. Now, someone does look twice at a giant Cajun man in a huge-ass trench coat and pink body armor, but who said a thief needs to be inconspicuous? Kinetic powers were everywhere for a few years ago. Superboy was kinetic-based for a bit. Kinetic powers are like a key part of the X-Men. Juggernaut is like the OG kinetic boy. Then there's Gambit, there's Bishop, there's Sebastian Shaw. More that I'm not thinking of right now. Will you be watching Wolverine the X-Men for this? I will. I will be watching Wolverine the X-Men. Will probably take over the Monday slot, and Teen Titans will take over the Friday slot. Wolverine the X-Men I remember a lot better. Teen Titans I've literally never seen, and also know almost nothing about even in the comics. So it's going to be a very different vibe, and I hope that people still like. I know the number one thing people say they like about my reviews, and I appreciate this, is the rambling about the comics. So the Teen Titans one will probably not have that. I thought in my brain that I'd read like all the Teen Titan comics before doing this. I did not. I'll be lucky if I read Judah's contract. It's still right here. But we'll see. It'll be a new experience, but I'll have Wolverine the X-Men going where I'm still doing it like this, and I can, word vomit X-Men thanks to you. Also, for those that are here, I'm assuming you've watched the new episode. I have to say, this was a very learning experience for me. I think in my brain, I've always considered frogs and turtles the same animal. And I understand that's crazy, but I need to walk some of the newer fans here through what's happened because I got a lot of new subscribers with this series, and I just want you to know the lore. I made a video a long time ago where I posited that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were amphibians in my head because I was thinking they were frogs. They're not frogs. They're turtles. Everyone commented not they're turtles. That was supposed to be obvious. But they're reptiles. I made this video about Toad while filming. Never even considered the question and said he's a reptile. And then I moved on. In editing, I thought it'd be funnier to do the voiceover gag. Still said reptile. Then I watched it back 4 times, as I always do for quality control. Thought it was fine. Posted it on Patreon. No one said shit. Now it goes on YouTube, and everyone's like, hey, a frog's not a reptile. It's an amphibian. Again, not a turtle. No one even has to say, hey, those aren't turtles. I wish I could say that this was a bit, or I'm going to get so many comments about this, and I'm not going to have a defense. It is perhaps the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me. And I didn't even, the worst thing is I never noticed. Not until reading the chat during the premiere did I have a shocking revelation that toads and turtles are different things. In my defense, I feel like Toad in this series kind of looks like a turtle. They were trying to save me. Anyway, real question is, are the TMT eligible for X-Men membership? No. They're Daredevil. Led to the goddamn live after being at the premiere because my boss was texting me on my day off. You know what? Here's what you do. You text that boss and you say, there's nothing more important than Nikhil Clayton. And he's going to say, Nikhil Clayton, famed X-Men YouTuber? And you say, yes. TMNT are mutates. Yes, they are. You know who also is a mutate? Daredevil. I watched the podcast you were on. Your Mandarin take was correct. And also, I always loved Iron Man 3. Justice for Harley. Justice for Harley. You know what's crazy? You know what's actually... I don't know why I'm in such a rambling mood right now, guys. But you know what's pissing me off? Iron Man 3 comes out. I loved Iron Man 3. Been a defender ever since. Harley, one of my favorite characters. I wanted to see Harley come back. I talked about this all the time. Nobody agreed with me on the internet. Then some dumbass when Ironheart comes out tweets and is like, why is Ironheart the successor to Iron Man and not this kid? And suddenly everyone's a fan of Harley. And then I make a video being like, why is everyone a fan of Harley all of a sudden? And everyone's like, fuck you. You're a fake Harley fan. Fuck all of you. I'm the truest of Harley fans. Now everyone likes Harley. Not to say you. This was not an attack on the person who commented. This is just how my brain works. But yes, justice for Harley. I think this is my take. It's always been the same. I was such a fan of Harley that the actor posted on Instagram that he was going to be in Avengers 4 back when we didn't know the name of Endgame. And I got so hyped. I waited the entirety of Endgame to see that boy. Everyone else online afterward was like, who is this random guy at the funeral? Not me. I was like, there he is. Finally, that's Harley Keener. He didn't show up anywhere else, though. I thought what was going to happen is because at the end of Iron Man 3, Harley is gifted a bunch of Stark tech by Tony. I'm not even reading the chat right now, guys. So there's 100 people here. I love you all. We're going to finish this rant, and I'm going to go back to reading what's going on. But Harley is gifted a bunch of Stark tech. I thought what we were going to get in Endgame was he was going to be how we got Jarvis back as like the OG AI since everything that happened after Age of Ultron, because Harley is the one in that movie to help reprogram Jarvis and bring him back online in that film. And I thought the twist was going to be that he, and in terms of growing up, somehow made his own little version of Jarvis, and we would hear, like, because especially Vision died in Infinity War, remember? So Endgame, we'd hear Paul Bettany's voice again as Jarvis. I thought that's what we were getting. I was so wrong, but I would have put real money on this being what Harley's inclusion was going to be. But I was so wrong. Anyway, back to reading what you guys are saying. Harley should have been adopted, not gonna lie. Well, it is like Spider-Man stole everything. Spider-Man became Iron Lad in all but name, in terms of like significance to Iron Man. Like Tony holding that picture of Peter, Harley should have been adopted. Absolutely. I don't think I saw Iron Man 3. I remember when Vision died, though. That's Infinity War. Yeah. Iron Man 3 is a whole other thing. And Teen Titans, they weren't allowed to call Deathstroke due to the censors. Instead, they only called him by his real name, Slade. That's funny. Slade. Iron Man 3 is goated. Love the Armor Wars callback. And also showing Tony being a superhero even without the armor. Yes. My hottest take is I think Iron Man 3, if it was a Batman movie, would be universally loved. It would be like, everyone would be like, oh, that's one of the best ones ever. Because it's all Tony just being the engineer, or the mechanic, whatever they call him in that movie. He's taking random shit and he's proving that his mind was the power all along. The suit is an extension of him. Anything that's within his grasp can be a suit. I think that's great. It goes back to also what Cap says in Avengers, the movie that immediately predates this one. Who are you without the suit? Turns out, still a goddamn superhero. I love Iron Man 3. It has its faults. The girl in it should have been the villain and was meant to be the villain. And there's lots of clues that she's the villain. But then at the last moment, they got scared and were like, never mind, Aldrich Killian's the villain. And that means the plot doesn't quite gel. But outside of that technical issue, Iron Man 3 is a goated movie. What do you think of DCKO? I like DCKO. Iron Man 3 ruined the Mandarin. No, it simply did not. Effectively, in no capacity, has it ruined the Mandarin. But anyway, Iron Man 3 rant is over. Anyone who's watching this like post live, I don't know why people watch these. I gotta be for real with you. If you're watching this not live right now, I'm still getting used to live as being available after the fact. No, I appreciate you and I like that you like to hear me ramble about Iron Man 3 for no reason. Who is the Mandarin even? Well, this was my point on that podcast that someone was talking about. I went on a thing called the Escape Podcast. If you're on my Discord, I posted about it. I'm happy to hear people liked it. I will say, I've talked before. My favorite thing to do is read comments. I read the comments when I guested on this channel from their audience. They did not like me. I can take the ones that didn't like my takes. There was a lot of like, this dude just kind of has a bad vibe. That emotionally hit me. So I was very happy. It started getting posted by like random accounts on TikTok, and I saw more people on my side who were enjoying it, and that made me very happy. I was a big fan of the episode. Thank you very much. I was shocked to hear that you don't play games. I'm just bad at them. I do think I would enjoy them if I was better at them. Like the Lego Marvel Superheroes thing is kind of a bit that I say all the time, but it's also kind of true for me because it's the game that I could play. It's at my level. Nikhil's a good vibe. Thank you. We love your vibe, buddy. Don't worry. Thank you, guys. Would it be possible to get a Static Shock reaction series? One of my favorite series growing up. I've never seen it. So maybe. Like I said, I have a slate that's going to take us through like June, which like Wolverine the X, Teen Titans alone. Doing Teen Titans once a week is going to take us through like 6 months of content. On the other side of that week, we're going to do Wolverine and then the X-Men animes, which I'm very excited about. But after that, I don't know where we're going. I don't know what we're doing. Any show is on the radar. We'll figure it out then. Do you prefer Mystique Season 1 design or a new one? I think it's weird because the vibes are so different of the show. Like, I don't think this version of Mystique design-wise would fit in the first season. And I don't think the first season design of Mystique would fit in the later ones, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think either could replace them. But on a personality level, or like a personal level, I like the new design more. Reaction going to once a week? No, I'm just doing 2 shows. So there'll be a Monday show and a Friday show going forward after Evolution. But they should come out twice a week as is. Also, hopefully I'll be starting Patreon reactions soon if I can ever figure out how to edit these faster than, finishing at 11 p.m. the night before. Also, that means that the Patreon vids will genuinely start to be a week ahead, ideally. It might take me a bit. Again, everything's like on a sliding scale. It took me until, August to start the reaction series. That was going to always be what I tried to do on YouTube. And I started in like January. So everything takes me a second. But the goal, so at first the Patreon, fully honest, it might be Mondays become Teen Titans and Fridays become X-Men, and it's just the one from before. But ideally, it becomes genuinely a week ahead. We will see. Do you ever plan to watch any other shows like this? Yes. Everything I've just been saying. Young Justice, my beloved. Young Justice is a high contender if the Teen Titans series does well. I'm investing like 6 months into Teen Titans, so I hope to God people like it. But by far on YouTube, the skits that do the best are the Batman ones. And so I would like to do more Batman content, and I've been trying to make skits in these reaction series for a while. Again, it's just the editing weighing me down. I have to figure out a way to edit faster. Don't worry. I may not know much about these characters from the comics, but I am very aware of the Bat Fam, and I know Dick and Barbara, and the Starfire is like the friend from summer camp in my head. Like if your best friend also has a best friend at summer camp, that's who Starfire has always been. I look forward to learning more about her. Batman Beyond's one of the best animated shows. I have seen a good amount of Batman Beyond. I've seen, I think, the first season. Young Justice pissed me off a bit because it's just a Teen Titans show with Young Justice trench coat. I mean, yes, but it's like the Teen Titans that don't actually exist in the show, right? Like you have Kid Flash in Young Justice. You have Aqualad. It's a different Aqualad, but you have him. Not sure if you noticed, but after his first appearance in the show, Gambit's eyes are back to like the comics instead of normal. Yes, I did notice. It's funny too because, and this is not intentional by any means, but Gambit's eyes are different in his actual first appearance. Like I'm pretty sure he has normal eyes. Let me look that up actually. Let me go on Marvel Unlimited real quick and give you all the live take on if an X-Men 266. Wait, do I have X-Men 266? No. Okay. Well, that's one thing. When I have a ton of money one day, I'll splurge and get Gambit's first appearance. But right now, we go to X-Men 266. We look, come here, Gambit. Where are you? You premiere so soon. There he is. It's hard to tell. Are those normal eyes or are they shadow? I think he has normal eyes. It is difficult to tell. They're almost always in shadow. It's like this, if you can see. Like it's like black with white dots, which is not normal. This is back when they tried to make Gambit look like more demonic in general. But what's very fun about his first appearance is that his powers not only are green, but come from his eyeballs, like Scott Summers. This is only in the first issue. Literally the very next issue, he's back to doing his charge powers tactically. But in the first appearance, you can see the powers, he looks at an object with his eyes, and then green energy shoots out from his eyes and charges it. It's very Cyclops. There's, I think, one of him charging a plate. Yeah. Here, this is the best. This is the best representation of that. Isn't that nuts? Imagine if this is who Gambit was. Oh, my camera's about to die. So everyone, here, actually, everyone just chill. I'm going to plug my camera in, and I'm going to go get something I wanted to show you guys. Okay, camera's plugged in. Now I'm going to go get the thing. 10 more seconds. Look what we got, boys and girls. Dun 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 dun. Wait. Look at that. Look at that. It's so beautiful. I appreciate all of you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I am going to redesign this entire wall probably to find a place to put this. Also move the bookshelves because if you can't tell by my videos, they're a little too close together. But yes, I'm going to be placing this in a spot of honor. Probably like right here. It's amazing. I've been dreaming about getting one of these since they came out with them in like 2009 or whatever. You guys rock. Thank you so much. But I'm back now, and I won't be leaving you again, except for in 30 minutes when this live ends. Have it frame you like a halo. It is. I don't know how much anyone's ever actually looked at these things in other people's streams, but like, I didn't know this. It's a mirror. Like, it's a full ass mirror, which is so funny to me. Woo. All right, we're going to take very good care of that. Put the little foam bit back on it. Move it over. There you go. The YouTube flag doesn't deserve a spot in his deck, but it'll be good decoration for his wall. What does that mean? Spot in his deck. We could see the back of your head. You could. It's wonderful, guys. And Batman Beyond is a DCAU project. Is it? Like officially? When you start Teen Titans, can you post the order in which you watch it? I never watched it, so it would be fun to watch along with you. I'm hoping there's a more consistent order. I will say, for X-Men Evolution, if you're interested, I don't know where they got the order, but I'm following Internet Archive is where I'm getting my videos, Internet Archive. Check that out. I'm sure they got it from somewhere, but that's where that order is coming from. Are you excited for the new Bat Family show? Yes. Wait, maybe I should react to that one. I don't know. I want to do something topical. I wanted to react to Haunted Hotel that came out recently, and then That came and went. Pretty sure Teen Titans works fine. Dope. I hate the ads on live streams. I'm sorry. Obviously not sorry enough to turn them off, but like I did put them on the relaxed setting. I've talked about this before. I didn't know about this. You can set either relaxed or normal or aggressive, which is hilarious to me. Who do you ship Gambit with? Rogue. Do it. I like the Wolverine anime. I wish that the English VA didn't have a creepy, inappropriate relationship with Haiti Penitentiary when she was still a minor. Am I not going to be able to react to the show? How problematic is the anime? Come on! I don't like that either. I'm animating a Batman project right now. Cape physics are the worst in camera since this is a stop motion. I imagine. I dabbled in stop motion once as well, trying to make the show that I promised to make 5 years ago. Still working on that. 4 years ago. It's hell. So I admire you trying to do Batman in stop motion. If you had to theorize what a child of Rogue and Gambit would look like, what would you imagine they would inherit? I'm a big proponent of kids not inheriting their parents' powers. I think that it's an easy like hook for a new character when you do like an alternate universe or something to be like, oh, we merged two characters and it's their kid. But I think in general, I like when families have very weird powers. Like the Rasputins, Piotr turns into a big metal man. Mikhail is an Omega level reality warper, and Ilyana can teleport to Limbo specifically. That's so funny to me. I want Rogue and Gambit's daughter to have a very... The one thing I will say is I want their daughter, son, whatever, should have a tactile power. I think the fact that Gambit charges things when he touches them or here, let me rephrase. I think the fact that Rogue can't touch things and Gambit has to touch things is interesting. And that's like, honestly, a core aspect of their relationship. In one of these other books, Mr. and Mrs. X, yes, by Kelly Thompson, they have a really interesting conversation about like Gambit's powers going out of control. No, I think it's Deadpool versus Gambit of all things. But Gambit's power is going out of control, and then he's like essentially Rogue as well. He can't touch anything in the same way that Rogue can't touch anything because he might blow it up, and that's really fun. So their kid should have some sort of tactile power. It should be something that when they touch something, either good or bad, I don't know. But that's my take. Give their child tactile telekinesis. Sure. Tactile telekinesis is such a dumb thing. Rogue and Gambit technically have 3 alternate kids, 2 girls and 1 boy. Irene, Oliver, and Rebecca. Ooh, really? What universe are these kids in? Also, Irene is hilarious. Oh, it's also, did you mean Oliver or Olivier? Because Oliver would be also hilarious. Olivier is fine. I like with some kind of combined power that works different. I would take that too. And Franklin's power is nothing like Reed and Sue. Exactly. Who's your favorite Robin? Probably Dick. Dick or Tim? Thoughts on the old OG Ultimate X-Men? Not for me. Fun fact, Bruce Banner in Marvel Academy is voiced by Kellen Goff, who also voices Glam Rock Freddy in FNAF Security Breach. That is funny. Irene is my mom's name. And you know who else? It's Gambit. Nope. It's Rogue's mom's name too. Yeah, see? And Nagalandu? Wait, Nagals, is that you? The only character who consistently have children with the same power are Jean and Logan, I think. Logan, yes, those damn ass claws will get into any child of his, no matter what. Wolverine is one of those characters that's become like so integral to comics that he's like a power set. Like they're just like Wolverine characters to the point that was like a plot in the early 2000s. They're like, what? We should probably explain why there's just Wolverine types roam in the world. Sabretooth, he's out here. Why? He's not related to him. Fang on the Starjammers, seemingly a Wolverine type. Let's have a whole complicated arc about where these Wolverine types come from. Dumb. But it is what it is. Romulus is this thing that I'm talking about, yes. Romulus was their great answer for why they're Wolverine types. They're not Wolverine types. They're Romulus types. Ooh. Wild Child, yep. But my point is, so yes, Wolverine's kids always have the Wolverine power set. Jean's kids usually get phoenixized. I think that's fine. I think the Phoenix being hereditary is chill. I think it's notable that Cable doesn't really have an affiliation with the Phoenix, and he is the one who is Madeline's child. I was going to say something interesting, and then I got mentioned, and I forgot what I wanted to say. Hey, that's okay, bud. Like the guy who killed his brother in Roman myth? Yes, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not a Romulus head. If there's any Romulusonians out there, he is meant to be that Romulus. Yes. Leland Owlsley, aka the Owl, is one of those Wolverine types. Is he really the Owl? He has claws? I guess that would make sense. Cable is technically a prince of Limbo now. Ooh. Oh, because Madeline's queen. In your opinion, who is more interesting magic part of the universe, DC or Marvel? I just don't know as much about DC, so I'd have to go Marvel, but I like DC's magic vibe. DC's magic vibe is more like occult, it feels like. It's like a little darker, a little seedier. I dig that. Isn't Romulus an alien movie? Yes, but that's also referencing the Remus and Romulus. For those who don't know, Remus and Romulus, two twin brothers, founded Rome, raised by a wolf. That's just basic history, folks. Like it's mythology, but to some people it's probably history. I so much prefer Romulus than what the book Marvel tried to pull. I don't know anything about that. Fed by a wolf. I think raised by farmers later on. They are raised by a wolf. That's like their whole thing. Am I wrong about this? This live started with me admitting I didn't know the difference between turtles and frogs. So, I'm not going to get on too high of a horse here, but I feel like their entire thing was being raised by a wolf. I'm going to Google this. Isn't this where like the whole raised by wolves trope comes from? Like in real life? Remus and Romulus raised. Okay, if you type in Remus and Romulus and then the letter R, it comes up Remus and Romulus raised by wolves. So at least I'm not the only person who thinks this. The twin brothers Romulus and Remus were famously nursed and cared for by a she-wolf. Now, to be fair, that does not say raised. It does say nursed, which is what you said. After their mother was forced to become a vestal... Okay, hold on. Fed by a she-wolf in the famous picture. When they were young adults, they became involved in a dispute between the supporters of blah, blah, blah. Remus was taken prisoner. Okay, but who raised you? Eventually, they were adopted by Faustulus the shepherd. You were right. My apologies. But, I don't know, how long were they with the wolf? Were they adopted when they were like 14? That'd be different. They grew up, it does not say on Wikipedia. I could look into this more later. I thought that's where we got the raised by wolves trope. You guys have been answering this in the comments, but you know what? I Googled it, and that's the cost of a 5-second delay, folks. Also, fun fact, it was like the metaphor from Woman of the Night because wolf equals female dog. Oh, that's fun. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Once again, it's time to crochet while Nikhil yaps. I'm happy that this is a pastime for people. What if this was a podcast? I wish podcasts. You know what I could do? I could do like an old-timey call-in podcast. There's like an old-timey call-in show. I mean, not that podcast used to be call-in. And I just talk. It's like one of these comments, and I just react to that for the next 10 minutes. I don't know. My issue with podcasting is my issue with most things is that I don't have a co-host. I don't have anyone to work off of, I'm shocked you didn't mention how Wolverine's suit in this episode was basically just the ultimate suit from the OG Ultimate Comics. It was. At the time, I was just kind of happy that he had a new suit. I'm going to be real with you guys. A lot of my reactions are me being like, I should say something so that I can show this scene later in the show, like when I cut it. Because if I miss too much of a section, of like action or something, then you guys won't know what happened. But I need to have something that I say in the middle. And so I'm always kind of thinking of what would just be a fun thing to say. And I'm not always thinking of like, obviously, this is just the Ultimates outfit. It did look kind of traditional. And in my head, even as I was talking, I was like, why does this look like it's just a different suit? But it's a dope ass suit. And honestly, the suits were the best part of the Ultimate Universe. So I stand by it. I mentioned that someone in the Marvel Writers Team 2000 didn't know that Wolverine wasn't a wolf. Yeah, that happens more than you think. In this show, which was made in Canada, he like runs out of Weapon X and sees a wolf. What the fuck are you doing? Show him a Wolverine. Actually, to be fair, it may not have been a wolf, but yeah, no, the movie Wolverine Origins also clearly thought Wolverines were wolves. They have a whole monologue about howling at the moon. Hugh Jackman thought Wolverines were mythical animals. There was a fucking filter on TikTok years ago. Another thing that, if you haven't noticed, I can hold a grudge. Years ago, there was a filter on TikTok, and I tried to use it. It was like a guess which superhero you're thinking of filter, right? But it made you answer questions like Akinator, and then it would tell you which one you were thinking of, but it only had so many programmed responses. And I was trying to get Wolverine because I figured he'd be one of the programmed responses, but I couldn't get him. And so eventually I made a video just going through every single answer to get all of the responses. And to get Wolverine, you had to say he was a werewolf. And it was like related to werewolves. And I got pissed because I was like, that's not true. He's not related to werewolves. He's not related to wolves in general. And all of my comments were filled with people being like, Wolverines are just in North America. So to most of the world, yes, he is related to wolves. Fuck you. That's not how it works. That's not how anything works. Wolverines are still a real animal, whether or not they're close to you or not. Like, it's just bonkers to me. I don't even have a good comparison. What do you mean? Imagine if we were just like a panda bear. And we're like, pandas we don't have those in America. So actually that's like a raccoon now. What are you talking about? So much beef right now for no reason. How is Logan not a werewolf though? In every possible metric. Pick one thing about a werewolf, and other than being a man, Logan does not match up. I was told before I knew about Wolverine that they implanted a panther skeleton in him. I don't know how he could be generated for such a long time. Also, Wolverine is gluten in French. All of that confused me. They're both hairy and probably stink. Sure. What X-Men suit, aside from Wolverine, since we got it already, would you love to see in live action? Gambit's, but like we also saw that in the same movie. And it looked as silly as I think it would ever look in a movie. But I'm happy we saw it. Who else has got a really iconic suit? Rogue would be fun. If we ever got Rogue in like the Jim Lee green and yellow with the jacket in live action, I think that'd be a really nice time. I can tell you I never need to see Jean Grey wear anything she's ever worn in the comics. Maybe the Phoenix suit. Actually, take that back. The Phoenix or the Dark Phoenix suit in live action would be kind of cool. It is just a onesie with a bird on it, but still. I don't need to see that horrible orange monstrosity. I get her out of that in the X-197. Get her out. Free her. Cyclops, I think is fine. I know everyone loves the blue with the pouches in the sash. It'd be cool to see Cyclops's X visor. That would be a fun one. Nightcrawler, his standard suit would be a fun thing to see. Storm, Mohawk look, not a suit, but Mohawk look would be very fun. In the black leather jacket and stuff. What am I thinking of? Am I the only one who likes blue and orange suit on Jean? Yes. Like the orange one? Huh. Yes, you should be. I need Mohawk Storm IRL. They need to get a dope person to play Storm. That should be their highest priority in everything, is get a really cool person to play Storm and then let her go Mohawk Storm. Please no Mohawk Storm. I am begging. Why? Why? Oh, is it because of the texture? That's the only fair response. I will stand down. I won't argue with any person of color if they don't like the Mohawk because of the hair texture. I can see that. I will say Storm, 90% of her looks have the wrong hair texture, but I won't argue that point. I get that that's something that is important. Is Emma Frost going to come to the MCU? I truly don't know what. Will we get any clue of how the X-Men tie into the MCU? I can start theorizing that. Right now, it could literally be anything. Didn't they give Storm Mohawk and X-Men Apocalypse? I think so, but she's also a little kid, and so the adult one. It's definitely the texture, and I hate it. I think in a recent comic, it was, I think, for one of the galas, they did a Mohawk look for her that had the correct texture, and it was phenomenal. So I think you could do it. Also, like, Black women have Mohawks sometimes, I'm sure. Let me look it up. I don't know why I'd be sure about that, but we can find out. Mohawk Black woman. Real life people who have real life Mohawks. Let's see if it's a thing. Yeah, something like this. How would this work? Well, this is a wig, but you know what I mean. Is this something? Anything? I don't know. Okay, this is not a wig. What about something like that? We could do that. I think there's a way to make it work. But also, the Mohawk's not the essential part. I just want, like, punk biker Storm. The Mohawk is just the usual signifier of such a thing. First time seeing a YouTube stream that I want to watch. Thank you. I feel so weird every time I do one of these because I know I should have, like, a thing I'm doing. People are, like, always, like, reviewing things or, like, on Sporkle, playing a game, comparing two things. I'm just thinking of streams I've watched recently. But, like, I just chat. We're just chilling and chatting. I wish I still had my Twitch channel. I should have just been doing this the whole fucking time. If not the Mohawk, any version where she has the gorgeous hair paired with the black crown, like she got in Life Death Part 2, also fine with that. Play the connections. I would actually love to play the connections on camera. That would be really fun, but I'm so technologically challenged. I tried to screen share last one, right? And everyone go see that horrible thing. I keep saying I'm gonna learn, but I don't know how to learn without going live. So maybe one day look at this. Look at this payoff. I was late to this live because I was accidentally in an unlisted live that no one came to for 5 minutes. I'll just do that again, and then I can learn. Haha. In context of X-Men cartoons, what do you think of the 90s X-Men New? I love it. It's probably my favorite adaptation of the X-Men to date. How far does it get through Flash's Rogue Gallery besides the Speedsters? Besides the Speedsters, I think he's taken them all. I think he can outlast them. There's a wonderful arc of Gambit called, like, Hunted? I don't know. Where basically every supervillain tries to kill Gambit and he outlasts them. And I think it would be similar to that. I can see the Punk Storm defines a generation video. This is what I'm saying. People got mad at me for saying Punk Wanda because she's, like, also goth. But I just wanted a different word. And I feel like she's punk. I saw one Reddit person who agreed that she was punk, so I went with it. Does Rogue have her own Rogues Gallery? No, a lot of the X-Men don't have their own Rogues Gallery if your name's not Wolverine, just because the X-Men are an ensemble. And so they have X-Men villains, not, like, personal ones. I would say Belladonna and Kandra are really more Gambit's Rogues Gallery, but, like, they're also definitely Rogue villains because Gambit and Rogue have a lot of stories together. But Kandra is, like, this goddess. She's not really a goddess. She's, like, a really old mutant, but this external who ran the Thieves Guild. Belladonna is Gambit's ex-wife. Belladonna kills Cody, that boy that Rogue put into a coma. Fun fact. Mystique is definitely not Rogue's villain, I would say. Like, that's the other thing, is that Rogue started out as a villain. So, like, she has old allies, but I would not classify the old allies as a villain. Mystique's role in almost any, like, Rogue Spotlight or Rogue Solo is mom. They're very rarely going to blows. Ms. Marvel is a rogue enemy. Yes, but that's kind of flipped. Rogue was a Carol. Mystique was a Carol Danvers villain, like for real, before the X-Men. And then Rogue just sort of also was via retcon. And then, yeah. So again, I don't think it's fair. Also, Dazzler. She used to fight Dazzler in Dazzler solo when she was a villain. But like, that's kind of the other way because she just was a bad guy. Mystique was, yeah. A lot of X-Men villains start out different places than you would think. Sabretooth was originally an Iron Fist villain. It's not until Mutant Massacre, where he joins up with the Marauders and they tease a connection to Wolverine, that he becomes like intrinsically tied to Wolverine for all the time afterward. Get my and my mother to dress up as Mystique and Rogue for Halloween. Do it. Your thoughts on Invincible comic and show? Haven't read enough of the comic. Love the show. I want to see Mojo as an X-Men movie villain. Me too. I love Mojo. Is it weird? I kind of want Jubilee to be killed off in a future X-Men 97 season. I just don't find the character interesting. I don't think the show finds the character interesting. Is Blind Spot a rogue villain? Yes, Blind Spot would be a rogue villain. Rogue has had 3 solos, I want to say. Blind Spot is definitely in one of them. Every X-Men has at some point pulled a mullet at this point. I think I just want a lineup of just mullets. Okay. You should talk to Sal from Comic Pop. Okay. Thoughts on Arcade? Love Arcade. Put Arcade in a movie. Probably not an X-Men movie. Maybe a Spider-Man movie would be fun, though. And also, let me play him. I thought, this is another random ramble, I thought Arcade was going to be the villain of Deadpool and Wolverine. Not Cassandra Nova, and I'm kind of annoyed that I was wrong, but not on any like real level other than the made up movie I made up in my head I liked. But I thought it was going to be Arcade is like a member of the TVA that's like still around after everyone left after Loki season 2, and he's made Murder World, which is a real world in this version, like instead of like just a theme park. It's a world, a timeline that he's taken and like controls like a video game. That's what I was thinking. Not a video game, but like an arcade game because he's arcade. That's what I was thinking Deadpool and Wolverine were going to be. And it would kind of be Arcade as the villain and then Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe as the plot. And it would be basically Arcade setting up cage matches for Deadpool and Wolverine as they go on this road trip. That is not the movie we got. Nowhere really even close. But I thought it would be a cool idea. Arcade would be one of the few X-Men villains that Batman would be comfortable with. Yes, I think Arcade slots into as a Batman villain very easily because he's a Spider-Man villain. Like, he started out with Spidey, as a lot of Marvel villains do, and all Spider-Man villains could be Batman villains. I think Arcade would be a fun TV show villain. I doubt he could carry a movie by himself. I think he could. I think he could have carried Deadpool Wolverine. I really think that movie would have worked with him as the villain. I think it would just depend. He's like a puppet master kind of character, you know? So like it would depend how much you could get him to do. You either start as a Spider-Man villain or eventually become a Spider-Man villain. Yeah, basically. Who would play him? Me! Let me do it. I'd kill his Arcade, I think. The best pick, I think, would be Bo Burnham, but he would never do it. But he's like a great pick, I think. OMG, Lupus, you're so right. What did Lupus say? Mr. Beast is IRL Arcade. Yes. Mr. Beast, to be fair, he's more like the more edgy Arcade they tried to do when Hunger Games got popular. I don't see Mr. Beast building a pinwheel or pinball machine, but you know what? Maybe he would. You don't look like a Chucky doll, though. Well, I used to have the red hair. So you got to remember when I had long red hair. Look at my like profile pic. I could do that again. You know, I'll take the glasses off. I'll shave. We can make it work. We can make it work. Gotta be honest, I think Apocalypse design has always been kind of lame. It's very 90s. Which is funny because I think it predates the 90s. But it's very like he's got random tubes. He's huge. He's blue. There's a lot of things happening. It's a very maximalist design, I'd say. Should Longshot appear in any adaptations? I think so. My big beef with the X-Men in general in adaptations is that they never actually adapt a real team. They always just kind of pick and choose people from like 8 different teams. And I mean, if you want to do a story, I prefer if you just did a story and then you could have Longshot in it. Best blue character. Let's think. Beast comes to mind. I feel like it's not going to be hard to beat him. Apocalypse is blue. Maggot is blue. Who else is blue? I've been Googling things this whole episode. So, blue characters, Marvel. One day I'll be able to screen share this. Oh, yeah, duh. Blue Marvel. Well, he's not blue, though. Are we going blue skin or where is blue? Nightcrawler's got blue skin. Yondu. That's nobody. That's no. Blue Hulk. His name's A-Bomb. What kind of fucking website am I on right now? Archangel is purple. Mystique is blue. Man, a lot of blue X-Men, specifically. Of these, Nightcrawler, I think, is taking the cake. Nebula also blue, famously. Yeah, I think Nightcrawler. Iceman is not blue. Iceman is clear. Oh, there's so many more blue characters, guys. Oh, there's so many. Oh, yeah, all of the Atlanteans. Nightcrawler beats them all. Sabunara is pink. You'd be forgiven for thinking similarities between frogs and turtles that you played Yu-Gi-Oh! They're all aqua type and not reptile or anything else. Well, thank you. That's actually what's exactly hurt me, I think. In 43 minutes, I hope you hear me read this out loud. Like the guy has his own Jimmy Olsen. Who are we talking about? What's your take on Kurt having a beard? I like Kurt with a beard. I thought he looked great with a beard. Kurt with a pirate aesthetic is peak Kurt. Honestly, all of the X-Men, any character with a pirate aesthetic is the peak version of that character. If X-Men Evolution got a revival in Disney Plus like X-Men 97, what characters would you like to see get adapted into their universe? I was talking about this earlier. All the kids, I think, would be very fun. I was talking about Hulk after the A-Bomb mention. Oh, Rick Jones is a guy who I really want to make a video about one day, tracking his character arc throughout all of Marvel, because it's fascinating. He's Bruce Banner's, he's the reason Bruce Banner becomes the Hulk, is saving his life. He's briefly Captain America's sidekick. He becomes a Bucky. He becomes A-Bomb eventually. He's bonded to the original Captain Marvel. He's bonded to Genisville. He's so bonkersly important. He really is Marvel's Jimmy Olsen. If Jimmy Olsen kept being Jimmy Olsen to a bunch of different superheroes. Like if after hanging out with Superman, Jimmy went to Gotham and then just had the same role with Batman, that's Rick Jones. And he fascinates me. Rick Jones was a Captain America sidekick. He's like the second or third Bucky. 1600s X-Men missed by not making them a pirate republic. Truly, they're witches? Come on. My brother makes fun of me for calling X-Men Origins Wolverine my favorite X-Men movie. He should. You can like it, but favorite? Come on, buddy. Is Loki technically blue since he's a frost giant? No, because he's not blue. What kind of dumb question was that? No offense, but come on. Look at him. Is he blue? That's the main question. What if Apocalypse wasn't bald? I would be scared. Wait, how old is Rick actually? No idea. In the lore of the world. No clue. I feel like it's 30 something, but who knows? Every time I learn something more about Rick, it's crazy. He has a crazy life. He's an absurd person, and he's never been on screen as far as I know. Oh, the Kree are blue. True facts. Is Nebula supposed to be Kree? Does anyone know that? He did have a crazy marriage. He married Marlo Chandler. And if you want to learn more about her, you can go watch my 50 bisexuals in comics video. But short story, she leaves him for a bit. She becomes the embodiment of death, which is something. And then she leaves him for a bit to be with Moondragon, which at the time was a huge thing. I think they might be the first lesbian kiss in Marvel, if I remember correctly. Have you seen Iron Man Armored Adventures? No. I did watch that video. I was a big fan. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Do you play Marvel Rivals? Very sparingly. What state are you from? I'm from, well, I was born in Maryland, but I'm mainly from Texas. I lived in Texas from when I was 5 to when I was 18. I went to college in DC. Well, here we go. Here's just my whole life for you guys. I was born in Maryland, then I moved to Florida, then I moved to Texas, and then I moved like within Texas several times. And then I went to college in DC, and now I live in LA. You should watch Armored Adventures. It's really fucking good. I've heard that they have a good adaptation of the Mandarin because I said no one's a fan of the Mandarin, and then a lot of people come at me. Agents of Smash is a missed adult movie opportunity because nobody wants a Disney lawsuit. That's definitely a thing. This one we're not going to point to the camera, but there's truly no way. I'm going to have to explain this to my FBI officer eventually. Asians. We're going to just type that in. Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing. Disney lawsuit does not stop anyone. Oh, to be fair, I don't think this is so much doing the Agents of Smash as it's Hulk, and they've just come up with a similar title. Yeah, a lot of She-Hulk, actually. This is good content, right, guys? What are your opinions on the ideas of the Gambit and Rogue being a forward to Rivals next season? I'm excited. Again, I'm not good at video games. I think I will drop in. I will auto-lock Gambit. Someone will yell at me, and then I will do bad. But I want to play as him at least once. Hey, are you going to do a series on Wolverine and the X-Men? Yes, right after I finish Evolution. And we are, like, coming up on finishing Evolution. I don't think we have a ton left. We have, let's see, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 11, 12, 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. We have 10 episodes left. 2 weeks. No, 5 weeks. Wow. Fuck me, actually. We only have 5 weeks left of X-Men Evolution. Damn, I'm going to have to come up with some new shit. Wait, question for everyone here. We have 200 people here. This is perfect. If we end in 5 weeks, that means... Well, I didn't count 3 and 4, so because that's on Patreon now. So that's more like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it would be coming out at the end on Christmas Eve, I think. No, November 24th. My bad. Okay, so for December, would you be cool if I reacted to some one-off things and then started the next 2 series in the new year? Or would we want to see an immediate jump to Wolverine and Teen Titans? Maybe we'll start Teen Titans because it is so long, and because I'm afraid of someone else doing it before me. I don't want other content creators to jump to my Teen Titans train before I do it. Okay, we got a lot of one-offs. We got a lot of one-off statements. Some people say immediate jump. Okay, a lot of people say one-offs. If someone else starts this Teen Titans series before me, I am going to cry. I was so sure that X-Men Evolution was not going to have competition. Teen Titans, you never know. You never know. Someone else could do it. Danny Mata announces that he's reacting to Teen Titans, and I'm fucked. Muppets Christmas Carol. I don't need to do a reaction for. I can recite that whole movie right now. Fallout Guy, no. Fallout Boy made covered. It Feels Like Christmas, which I want to listen to, but it doesn't feel like Christmas right now, and that kind of annoys me. But hype. They have like a little voice that is Kermit. It's goated. What's your favorite DCAU show? The DCAU is the shared interconnected universe, the show of Batman the Animated Series, and it was Justice League Unlimited. I thought the DCAU was all those movies. I watched all those movies. I liked them a lot. What's your niche interest we don't know about? I should max parasocial link. I don't know. What's your niche interest? Well, niche in terms of for this community, I think F1. My partner in life is they're like an F1 family. They used to go to the race every year. They lived in Austin. They used to go to the race every year. They watch all the races every year. I this year have started getting into it so that we can watch them together. And I have to say, I'm getting very into it. There's a lot of statistics involved, which excites me because but yeah. So F1 was probably the most out of type. Otherwise, comics, TV, movies, all nerdy things. Who's your favorite DC character? Etrigan for vibes, Batman for like stories, because I actually read Batman comics. Hulkenberg, dude, that was insane. That was crazy. For those who don't know, there's a guy named Hulkenberg who had the record for the longest amount of time without getting on the podium, so without finishing within the first 3 spots ever. It was like something like 256 races or something. He's been in the sport for forever. He's never been in the top 3, and he got a fucking podium this season while I was watching it. I was learning about the statistic. It was wonderful. I feel like Lewis Hamilton is probably our best export so far, coming from a British person. Not, I mean, you guys have given, you got one of the celebrities. Have you watched the old 90s Marvel cartoons? No. No, I don't think I've seen the animated series, X-Men the animated series. That's it. Movies are DC AMU. Oh, I see. They added an M. DCO is Batman the animated series, Superman the animated series, Batman Beyond, Static Shock, Justice League Unlimited. Batman Beyond would have to be my favorite because I've seen the most of it. Also, it has now been an hour and I have to do other things today, like film Monday's episode for the Patreon because I am behind again. So you know what? Honestly, who even knows if we'll do one-offs in December? Maybe I'll just be dead. Maybe we'll still be doing this. It'll be like Pride Month. It's 2 months long. Who knows? Yeah. But I thank you all for joining. And this has been very fun. I love doing these after shows. This brings me immense joy. All right. Adios.